And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? It's upsetting me and my homegirl.
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it. Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So y'all almost did not get this video. First and foremost, this is my review recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode, 6, 7. It's the Gucci episode, okay? But y'all almost did not get this review because I was on vacation. So I might make a little video about that, but your girl was in Jamaica, okay, having a good old time. So I got back last night and I watched the episode last night and I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow morning, record my video, get it up. But I had to call Verizon, okay? And after those 2, 3, 4 phone calls, I'm ready to fight. Like, I'm ready to go up in the Verizon store and fight somebody. And I might have to bring my good sis Marlo so she could... somebody, okay? That's how I'm feeling because Verizon really got me pissed off. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even in the mood to record. But then I was like, nah. We're not going to let them mess up my plan, okay? We're going to do this video today. We're going to record it. We're going to edit it. And we're going to get it posted today. So thank you all for joining me. Let's get into this review. So let me start off by saying I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta on Peacock. And usually I skip the intro. You know, they have the option to skip the intro. But last night I didn't. So this was the first time that I watched everyone's intro and heard their taglines and all that good stuff. And my man was also in the living room in the massage chair so he could hear the show in the background, right? This is how I know that I am not biased at all because he don't know nothing about this show, none of these girls, right? So I listened to every tagline. Why? When Marlo's tagline came on, and her tagline is what? My past may be checkered, but my future is solid gold. Why at the same exact time? I swear, why at the same exact time? We were both like, what? What? He was like, that don't even make no sense. I said, and it don't. And it don't. Anyways, so to start off this episode, Drew is meeting up with her video director, Rage. He's done videos for a number of artists, and him and his wife have been together for like 20-something years. And he tells Drew, if y'all can make it past these 8 years, y'all good to go. And Drew sips her tea because, as we know, she is currently going through a divorce. By the way, what's the update on that? Are these two really going through a divorce, or is it for a storyline? Okay. We know they was racing side by side to get to that courthouse to file for divorce. What's the update on that? Are y'all really getting a divorce, or was this to save your peach, Drew? What's going on with that? What's going on? So Rage brings up recasting Ralph if Ralph's abs aren't up to par. And I'm like, look, why is Ralph even in this video, right? Remember when Ralph was doing his book or whatever, and he kept it real hush-hush from Drew? Let me tell you something. Ralph will be miles away from anything I got going on. Drew has him on the artwork for her song, and Drew's gonna have him as the main man in her video. Drew, baby, you need to give Ralph the energy that he gives you. There's no reason why you should have him front and center on your projects, and he did not even want you to read his project. He didn't even want you to be a part of it in any way. He don't need to be a part of nothing you got going on, baby. You got to keep that same energy with him. Anywho, so next we see Sanya and Sheree, and they meet up for, what is it? Chirotherapy, right? So Sanya gives Sheree props for Rihanna shouting out "She" by Sheree. And I was like, so I actually rewinded it because I'm like, where did she say anything about the brand "She" by Sheree? I saw Rihanna say that she loves Sheree, but maybe I missed where Rihanna mentioned or retweeted anything regarding "She" by Sheree. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I didn't miss it. I'm just saying. Sheree says that it is great to be acknowledged by one of her favorite singers, especially when Kandi, that's what she did, especially when Kandi was being such a hater. And I'm like, was Kandi really being a hater, or was she just stating facts that your site crashed, that you didn't have a lot of the merch on the website? She was really just stating facts. And if I remember correctly, wasn't Kandi trying to help you with "She" by Sheree, get you in touch with vendors and distributors and trying to help you with your site and all of that good stuff? We saw that Kandi was trying to help you out. And by the looks of it, it looks like Kandi tried to help you out more than any of these other women on the cast. So What are you talking about, Sheree? While they're getting their little therapy or whatever, Sanya tells Sheree that Ross hasn't been home much and that his business in Austin is popping. I think he has like a limousine service or like a taxi service, something like that. And he's trying to move the business to Atlanta. So remember last season, the season before, child, I don't even know how long Sanya had been on the show, but wasn't her main concern when Ross wanted to have a kid? She brought up the fact that Ross was not present during her pregnancy and even when Deuce was born, right? He wasn't there. So if you are having that same problem to the point where y'all can't even, like, what's changed? It's the same issue that you had before. Clearly, it seems like it'll be an ongoing issue, and Ross's main concern is growing that business. So don't you think history is just going to repeat itself, Sanya? I'm not understanding why she wants to go down. I don't know, because I don't ever want to question what a woman wants to do with her body. Obviously, if she wants to have a child and that's what's on her heart, she go ahead and do it. As a viewer, it's confusing, right? Because we see that Sanya still has the same issue that she had before, but now she wants to have a baby. So you got to you got to fill us in a little bit so there's not this huge gap in what's going on and what's changed from last season to this season. That's all. So the ladies feel like there's a division among the group because remember when Courtney had her event, when Kandi left, Drew and Kenya also left. And let me see, Courtney, Sanya, and Sheree stayed. Courtney, Sanya, Sheree, and Marlo stayed. So it's kind of like a Team Kandi, Team Marlo thing, right? So they don't like the division among the group. So Sheree wants to have a get-together, a little cute brunch to make sure everything is Gucci. So all the ladies got to wear Gucci and they got to talk everything out to make sure that everything is Gucci, everything is good. And Sanya also says that she wants to try to get Kandi to understand where Marlo is coming from in regards to what happened with her nephew. And I'm like, okay, girl. So next we see Marlo and Courtney. They meet up. Marlo thanks Courtney for connecting her with someone to get her record expunged so she could get that little blicky. And I was all for Marlo having some protection before, but seeing the way Marlo's a little tick, 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 boom, I don't know if she should have something like that. Seeing how she, it's not all, she don't got it all. Her obsessive behavior is kind of giving like, don't let her have one of those things. That's kind of what it's giving. Because if she could do this, she could do the other thing too. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'ma just leave it there. So Kandi and Sanya meet up. And Kandi tells Sanya, like, I'm about to not be messing with you and your homegirls. It's upsetting me and my homegirls because we feel like, well, damn, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell could you go? That's a classic. And Kandi lets her know, like, you be riding the fence a little bit too much for me. And of course, Sanya is going to deny this.
No, that's not true. No, that is not true. No.
Girl. And like I said before, it would be one thing if Sanya had a backbone. Like, there are some people who are able to be neutral. Like, they are able to be cool with two opposing groups of people. They're not going to kiki with group A about group B, and they're not going to kiki about group A with group, you know what I'm saying, okay? They're not going to talk shit about the other group, and they're going to defend both groups equally, right? Sanya does not do that. She just can't do it. She can't do it because she doesn't know how to be like, look, that's my friend. Stop. Like, I'm not even entertaining that. As high school as it is, since you can't remain neutral, you're going to have to just pick a side, baby. Kandi tells Sanya that she downplays Marlo's behavior, right? Kandi says, look, I'm not that sentimental friend. I'm a motivational friend. I'll connect you to the right people. I'll help you with your business ideas, things like that. But I'm not the friend that's going to be, she's like, I'm not that friend. And she also opens up to Sanya and lets Sanya know, look, I lost my brother when I was like 16 years old. So Kandi has dealt with hurt, right? And even in the scene that we saw when Marlo was telling Kandi, I think that Kandi expressed great empathy. She walked over to Marlo. She gave her a hug. She spoke to her. Like, I didn't feel that Kandi was being cold or standoffish at all when Marlo gave her that information. The problem with Marlo is if you ain't buying something or you're not giving her something tangible to express your care, it doesn't register to her. Because Kandi didn't cater the funeral. She didn't buy her a bunch of flowers. She didn't give her some money. Because Kandi didn't do those things, it's not registering to Marlo as showing care or concern. That's the only thing that will be of meaning to Marlo. Marlo was telling Courtney that she can't keep kissing ass and she can't keep apologizing. And I'm like, whose ass did she kiss and who did she apologize to? Because all I saw was Marlo make excuses for her behavior. She was drunk. Oh, she didn't know she slammed the door. I didn't see any apologies be made. So like, what is she talking about? Oh yeah, Sanya read Sheree's Gucci invite. I thought that was cute. It was funny. So next thing we see Drew, she's at her dance rehearsal for her music video. And we see that they did recast Ralph and they show us some footage of when Drew was telling Ralph. She was so scared to tell Ralph. Drew, girl, you are too nice to this man. You've been too nice to this man, right? And we see in the scene, Ralph is like,
so if I'm not the main guy, does there even need to be a guy at all?
Yes. Yes, sir. There needs to be a guy. Yes. What are you talking about? Ugh. I was like, excuse me. Excuse me. I learned that in Jamaica, y'all. So anyways, the leading male doesn't show up. There was a scheduling conflict, so he didn't make it. So Ralph is now again the lead guy, and Drew's like,
I think it'll be good for our marriage and for our, I'm like,
girl, stop. Now it's time for Ralph to take his shirt off. I feel like one of those girls, she was a little thirsty for Ralph to take his shirt off. To me, I was like, girl, it is not all that. Like, calm down, okay? Maybe I'm biased because I don't like Ralph, right? I'm the type of person, I don't care how good looking you are or other people think you are. Once you do something I don't like, you say something I don't like, you are the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And with me, it's like a switch. And I never thought Ralph, I'm not using Ralph as an example because I never thought Ralph was like, I think Ralph is a good looking guy. But I never thought Ralph was like, ooh, he's so fine. Like some of y'all be going up for Ralph and I'd be like, it's not giving that. It's not really giving that. But once Ralph took his ass to Tampa and didn't want to tell Drew where he was and that whole ordeal with the house and he didn't want to give her the details and the paperwork on the house, stuff like that. I don't like you no mo, okay? I was gagging when they were grinding on each other. I really was. When they were grinding on each other, I was like, ew. I'm biased though. I don't like Ralph. Okay, so in the next scene we see Kenya. She goes to the doctor and she's telling her doctor that her sex drive is up. If it's up, then we love that for her. So she wants to know if she can have another baby. And she also lets us know that she has a couple of embryos and her and Mark had a contract so that no matter what happens between them, those embryos, which consist of Mark's sperm and Kenya's eggs, will be hers, right? So she gets a little emotional and she says that she's going to have to, have that talk with Mark. Even though they're hers, she still wants to have some type of, courtesy and let him know, like, you might have another baby running around here. Even though you're not even a good father to Brooklyn, allegedly, I might have another one with you. And the producers ask her, like, why would you want to have another baby with Mark? And I get what she's saying. She's like, she doesn't want to have multiple baby daddies. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Maybe she want to be on her Khloe Kardashian, Tristan Thompson, and have all her kids by one man, even though the daddy ain't shit, really. That's that. If that's what she want to do, okay. Okay. And she also says she's not in a super serious relationship right now, so why not use her embryos? I know that process to get the embryos was long and expensive. So yeah, girl, use your embryos. Like, I get it. I think given all of the risks that Kenya's doctor mentioned, surrogacy would be obviously the safest option for her. She is a bit apprehensive about going the surrogacy route, but we'll see what she decides to do. So it's time for the Gucci brunch, okay? There were some guys at another table. They were so nosy. I was like, oh my God, y'all are just like me. I would have been nosy just like them, okay? I'm like, who is that? So everyone shows up in their Gucci. Marlo gives a little rundown about all the ladies and their little Gucci outfits. That was funny. She threw a little shade at Kandi and said that, I think she said that Kandi looked like she was going bowling, which she did. Which she did, okay? But we know who got the most money at the table, baby. So, like, it ain't even. So, what are we talking? Like, what are we talking? Drew says when she got the invite, she asked Ralph, can she go? Drew, you've been giving this man too much say so. Did he ask you when he went to I'm not even gonna get myself worked up, okay? Because clearly we, the viewers, are more mad about Ralph going to Tampa than Drew is. So I'ma just I'ma just let it be, okay? I'ma just chill out, okay? So Sheree starts giving a speech and she's talking about, the relationship between the girls, and she gets emotional about it. And she's like, she wants all of the girls to be able to get along. So first we start off with Kandi and Courtney, and they have their conversation and they pretty much agree to let bygones be bygones. Great. Love to see it. Next, we get to Sanya and Kenya. And Kenya lets Sanya know, like, look, girl, I just don't trust you. She brings up the comments that Sanya made on Watch What Happens Live when Andy asked Sanya what she thinks about Kenya's butt, if she thinks it's real or if she thinks it's fake, right? This is that lack of backbone that I be talking about with Sanya. You see how she tried to put Marlo in that? So she did it on Watch What Happens Live, and she was like, well, when Marlo points it out and you think of the shape of it, blah, 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 right? She did it on Watch What Happens Live. And then at the table again, she tried to bring Marlo into it. And she's like, well, when Marlo, girl, stand on your shit, Sanya. Stand on what you think. If you think it look fake, it look fake. If you think it don't look fake, it don't look fake. But this, Marlo said when Marlo brought it up, girl, grow up. Girl, stop. Y'all seen that video of Keke Palmer on the Terrell show when she was talking about Claire Huxtable? And she was like, girl, stop. Woo, I'm going to try to put that clip in here. Anyways, Sanya tries to act like there was no other answer that she could possibly give. And of course, Kenya and Sheree, they give her like a number of other ways that she could have answered that question. Girl, you are being shady. You're a correspondent. You know how to answer questions. Like, let's not play this game. So Kenya says that she needs to see how it progresses with Sanya and if Sanya is worthy of her trust. And Sanya's like, wait, worthy, right? That did come off as a little bit of like, girl, worthy. And Kenya's like, oh no, I'm not being shady, blah, 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 blah. So they squash that and they're going to work on building trust. It's not going to end well. I can already see it because Sanya is a flip-flopper. Like, it is what it is. So, child, in this next scene, Kenya was acting a complete fool and I was cracking up, okay? I was cracking up. So now it's time for Marlo and Kandi, right? Marlo gives some fake-ass speech about how she can't make people like her. And Kenya's like, yeah, girl, no one's going to like you if you're being evil to people. No one's going to like you if you keep attacking people. Like, what are you talking about? You can't make people like you. Yeah, no one's gonna like you, sis. No one's gonna like you. Then Marlo says to Kandi that she's not even the one who brought up the shooting. Marlo says Drew brought it up and that's what triggered me. And Drew was like, not you trying to put me in your shit. Like, what? I will be honest about this. Everyone was talking over Marlo. Marlo could not get a word in.
This is crazy. No one will let her talk. Let her finish talking. Let her talk. Once we were arguing, you been quiet and let me talk. No. I'm saying no. I'm saying I don't know.
So Marlo gets pissed off and she gets up to leave. Kenya's like, bitch, I don't need your respect. And Marlo's like, Kenya is so disrespectful. And I'm like, girl, wasn't you in a hotel beating down, stomping down Kenya's door like a couple weeks ago, Marlo? Is that not disrespectful? To Kenya, to Brooklyn, to everyone on that floor. Was that not disrespectful? Marlo? So Marlo comes back in and we in the middle of Kenya talking about how Marlo sold her cuckoo for a purse. And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? So Marlo comes back in and she sits down and she finally admits that what happened to her nephew had absolutely nothing to do with Kandi. And I'm like, duh, yes. Finally, she's admitting what we all been saying. Marlo said what her issue was is that when her nephew passed, all of her family was asking about Kandi. What about Kandi? Ain't Kandi your friend? Girl, I find it very hard to believe that when someone in your family passed, everyone was asking about Kandi Burruss. Kandi Burruss Tucker. I don't believe that for 1 second, Marlo. I really don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Then Sanya jumps in and tries to explain what Marlo is saying to Kandi. Candy's like, girl, I don't need you to be Marlo's lawyer to explain nothing to me. And I feel the same way. Like, girl, I can't comprehend what Marlo is saying. It's a bunch of bullshit. I don't need you to break nothing down for me, girl. Okay, yo entiendo, okay? I understand fully and completely, okay? Then Sanya started getting loud with Kandi. The veins was busting. She like, I'm trying to explain to you. I was like, girl, who are you yelling at? Miss Mamas, who are you yelling at? Kandi didn't take it that way, but for me, Sanya was getting loud for me, okay? She was getting a little bit too loud for me. Kandi ends up saying, look, Marlo, fuck you and fuck those flowers. Like, and period, let's leave it at that. Like, I didn't give you no flowers. You ain't getting no flowers. What happened to your nephew has nothing to do with me. And that's it. Like, I don't want to talk about this shit no more. Kandi didn't say all of that, but that's what fuck you and fuck those flowers. That's what it meant, okay? I'm just trying to help y'all understand. That's what Kandi was saying. So Marlo keeps talking and Kandi is paying her dust. And I'm like, finally, yes, Kandi, take a page out of Kenya's book. Kenya will literally pay Marlo dust. And the only time that Kenya will go back and forth with Marlo is when she feels like it. But Marlo can't trigger Kenya to go back and forth with her. But 95% of the time, Kenya is paying Marlo dust. And that's what gets under her skin the most, right? So I'll tell y'all something. This episode, I'm not mad at this episode. I was entertained. I was laughing. I was cracking up. I was irritated. I was all of those things. So it was good. Tell me what y'all think about this episode, about the little Gucci brunch. If you haven't seen my past reviews, go back and watch those. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk about this episode down below, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.